Morning, peeps. I'm back. Now, it's actually afternoon. I'm back anyway. And I've been down the gym on the rowing machine. And I just spent a whole hour on the rowing machine. Nothing else. Just on the rowing machine with Trent and Salah in my head. And this result in the Champions League has kind of thrown a bit of spanner into my plans because now there's no chance Salah's going to get injured or rested in the Champions League. You know, he's focused 100% now on winning the league. And that's going to really dent their season a little bit, I think. They're not going to be happy. And they're going to want to get the league wrapped up as quickly as possible, aren't they? And that Everton match has got me a bit scared, peeps, a bit scared. And there's another thing that's got me a bit scared, and it is causing me to have a wobble. And that is the timing of this Man City match against Leicester. Because they play Bournemouth. So did I say Leicester, peeps? FA Cup. But they play Bournemouth last day of March. They get the 1st and 2nd of April off. And then they have to play Leicester. And we know that the FA Cup quarter-final stage is when it all kicks off, isn't it? It gets high intensity, much more intense than a normal league match. We could get extra time, penalties, the whole works. You know, there's going to be boots flying about. Haaland could pick up a knock, any tiny little knock, and he's going to be running to Pep saying he's not fit to play against Leicester, like he did the other day. And then 4 days after that, they've got a huge game against Man United because it's a local derby and it's massive. And that Leicester game is like sandwiched in between the two. And we know how much Pep likes a good rotation. And it's actually pretty scary. And because like I said, Salah and Liverpool now are going to go absolutely apeshit against Everton. And I fear that if there's any doubt about Haaland, or people saying his minutes are in doubt, people are going to not captain him. They are all going to captain Salah. I'm not going to own Salah. Haaland could start off the bench or something, and I'm in a lot of trouble. So it's tricky, peeps, tricky. So I'm having a bit of wobble. Here comes somebody's coming home. It's all going to turn to custard. Now that's ruined my thought processes. Cats annoying me. But so what I've done is I have a bit of a wobble. Now, I tell you what though, if Trent's injured, if Trent is out for a significant time, because we don't know if it's his ankle, his knee, or whatever it is. Supposing he was out for 6 weeks or whatever, then I think that would make Salah a lot less of an attractive asset because Trent and Salah, they really combine, don't they? Like, not like oil and water, peeps. That's completely wrong, Cat. Why would you say something like that? You know, they combine like digestives and cheese. You know what I mean? You can't have a digestive without putting a bit of cheese on it, peeps. And that is like Trent and Salah. So, if Trent was out, make me even more keen to get rid of Salah. But I've also got Trent, which is a bit of annoying too. So, yeah. But I think what we've got to do is divide Liverpool's season now into 2 parts. The first part, probably game week 30 to 34, is when they're going all guns blazing to win the league. And I suspect by the end of game week 34, after they've battered Leicester, or wherever it is in 34. No, that's a free hit week, isn't it? 34. The last 4 matches for Liverpool, I think, are going to be, you know, let's have a quick look at these last 4 matches for Liverpool. Okay. The last 4 matches are, and wildcard in game week 35, and I probably won't want Salah in it. Because last matches, they have got 35, they're away at Chelsea. I will not captain him there. I would captain Haaland at home to Wolves. So I will have Haaland on my wild card. Man City will be chasing top 5. So could Bournemouth, Villa, teams like that, chasing top 5. Liverpool are going to be on the beach. Salah might want to chase some personal records, but without FA Cup, without Champions League, they're going to get a massive relief once they win the league, and subconsciously they will not be able to get up to the same level they were at before they won the league. Look at my professionalism here, peeps. Someone's come in, it's not phased me in the slightest. So they will have nothing to play for. Slot will be looking at life after Trent and Salah, who could well both be going, and will be looking to give likes of Elliott, Jones and all these people plenty of game time. And the rest of the team will all be on the beach, worrying about their contracts for next year, whether they're staying, going, all that type of thing. Because the league will all be wrapped up, and the only one they might make an effort for is the last home game in game week 38 when they're home to Palace. So game week 36, they're at home to Arsenal. No thank you in regards to captaincy in that one. Maybe Arsenal might have nothing to play for either by then. City at home to Bournemouth, could captain Haaland for that one. But whether Bournemouth will still be in the race or not for 5th, we don't know. This one's down for doubles. It's actually Southampton playing City in game week 36. Could be doubles in game week 36 according to this. But Southampton City, definitely captain Haaland then. 37, Liverpool away at Brighton. Don't need them for that. Game week 38, of course, they are home to Palace, which will probably be Salah's last fixture. Be a big emotional affair. But there's going to be other big games too. You know, teams chasing top 5. City Fulham could be very important. Bournemouth might need to batter Leicester. We just don't know. We just don't know, peeps. But what we do know, I think, is that the time that it's dangerous not to own Salah is game week 30, when they're home to Everton, when he could be the best captain, depending on what happens to Haaland in the Bournemouth match. Game week 33, when they're away at Leicester, could even be the game where they can confirm themselves as champions, which would be absolutely huge. Leicester will get extremely battered, I suspect, in that one. Although we wouldn't captain Salah because Haaland would have a double that week. So I'm thinking I do need Haaland for that double in 33. The only question I have is, do I need to have him before then? Can I get away with not having Haaland? Really, it all depends on that Leicester match, doesn't it? Whether he shows up, whether he plays, whether the intensity's there after that Bournemouth match, before the Man United game. I mean, at least Man City, they are used to playing 3 matches in a week, aren't they? I'll say that for them. But that will probably involve some rotation. Whether Haaland is rotation proof, I'm not sure he is anymore. We shall see. We shall see, peeps. But I've had a wobble, and I'm thinking I am going to get rid of Salah. You know, this week, let's look at this week for a moment. Game week 29. If I don't get Haaland, who am I going to captain? You know, it's because I spent all those weeks, didn't I, looking at trying to get rid of Palmer to get Haaland in and couldn't make it work. So I come across that plan to take Salah out to get Haaland, which is my current plan. But what I didn't do is spend enough time looking at plans that simply involve not getting Haaland at all. And in fact, just getting Evan Nielsen or Chris Wood. So let's assume I get Evan Nielsen, right? Bring him in. Don't bother getting Haaland. Still got, I'll save a transfer. All options open. Still looking good for this week, even though I haven't got Haaland. But who do I captain? I think I'd captain Fernandes. I wouldn't captain a Bournemouth player. You have no idea which one to get the most points. And if Bournemouth win 5-0, I suspect I get a green arrow anyway, because all of these players they tend to share the points around quite a lot, don't they? So even if Captain Fernandez failed, I'd probably still get a green arrow. Unless, of course, Haaland went crazy. And I think, why, oh, why did I not go through with my plan, the Richard III plan? I bottled it, didn't do it, and now my season's a mess. You know, that's what I'm going to do if I don't do it, isn't it? That's what's going to happen, peeps. And I'm going to regret it, aren't I, not doing it. So I think, you know, I've just got to be brave here. Get Haaland in, stick with my plan, because at least I've got a plan. You know, I've looked at a lot of content this week, and I tell you what, I've never seen a bunch of people, a bunch of creators, so utterly clueless about what they're going to do. They literally do not know what to do. And I can't say I blame them, because, you know, this plan I'm doing, it's high risk, but it is at least a plan, concrete plan that I can follow through until the rest of the season. And like I said, the danger in my mind is game week 30. And that is the danger. Liverpool home to Everton. Highly motivated Liverpool. You can say Everton are going to be highly motivated too. But it's going to be fingers crossed tied behind the couch without Salah, definitely. You know, although people without Haaland can say the same. But a lot of people are going to be able to get Haaland and keep Salah. I can't do it, but some will be able to by getting rid of Palmer. I'll show you something about Palmer, actually. I was looking on the Chelsea forums, and in Jackson's last 6 games before injury, Chelsea registered 112 shots. In the 6 games since, Chelsea have registered just 74 shots. It's not quite half, but it's getting there. And Jackson has really been missed. I don't think it's just Jackson. I think it's Madueke as well. Both of them have been missed. And, you know, it's affected Palmer. But the thing is, after the international break, it looks like Jackson will probably be back. I'm not sure about Madueke, but Jackson will be back at least, which could well be good news for Palmer. You know, he probably needs a break, reset his batteries and all that, and we could come back to the Palmer of old. And they do have Ipswich, I think it is, in game week 32, don't they? Let's have a look. When do they play Ipswich? Where Brentford in 31, 32, they are at home to Ipswich. By then, that's mid-April, by then we could have Madueke, we could have Jackson. All guns firing, peeps, all guns firing. Chelsea again, Palmer back in form. And that could be big, you know. He could do better in that game, for example, than Salah might do against Everton or away at Leicester in game week 33. So I don't think I need to be hugely scared of not having Salah. But what I am going to face, I think, is quite a bit of variance. So, but we're into the last 9 games of the season. If you can't strike for home at this stage, when can you? I mean, I can follow the template, do what everyone else is doing, do it better than everyone else is doing, quite frankly, this week. So I think my team is a lot better than a lot of non-free hit teams this week. Whether they get more points or not is a different matter. But I could just do what everyone else is doing. I could wildcard in game week 31, do what everyone else does. And then in game week 35, or, you know, wildcard in 31, bench boost 34, just like everyone else. And then I have got my assistant manager chip that I could use in game week 35, 36 and 37 when there could be a double game week in 36. So I could do that and just do basically what everyone else is doing, except I have still got that extra chip. In which case, I suspect I can quite easily now, by doing that strategy, I think I can quite easily finish in the top 100k right now just by not being silly. I can do that, but I don't think I can get much higher than that. I don't think I can get much higher than that. Even 100 might be a push. But I think on the live rank, it does tell you how far behind you are, doesn't it? Here we are. So let's assume my assistant manager chip is worth 40 points. Because it probably will involve a hit somewhere, won't it? Or mean I can't get triple somewhere. So let's say my assistant manager chip benefits me by 37 points. And that sees my true rank now is 100k. Do you see that? That's actually my real rank. Because so many of, well, some people who haven't played it, of course, but nearly everybody around my level seems to have played their assistant manager chip. So my real rank at the moment is about 100k. I could probably increase it by playing sensibly. So I could probably end up, let's see, 75k, say, about the same as last year. I'll probably end up about there if I just do what everyone else is doing now, between now and the end of the season. That's what I realistically expect to end up if I just play sensible. If I go for this Haaland plan and kick out Salah, then things get rather more volatile. For one thing, I don't wildcard when everyone else does. I use my assistant manager chip in game week 31, 32 and 33. So I'm completely zigging when everyone else is zagging. Then I use my wild card in 35 when everyone else hasn't got one anymore. Use my bench boost in 36 when I don't really know, to be honest, what the hell that's going to look like. And my rank could be anywhere, I suspect. In that way, you know, I could get in the top 50k, I think, if it goes well. Even the top 25k, should this Haaland plan and no Salah actually work, I've got more upside, I think, but I've also got quite a bit more downside. So the question is, do I really care about finishing 75 to 100k and just doing what everyone else is doing? You know, as somebody who puts out content, although not quite as high stakes as other people that do it, you know, who's do it for a living or whatever. So it doesn't really matter what I do. But am I happy finishing 75, 100k, just going with the flow, having green arrows when everyone else does and red when everyone else does? Or should I strike out with this plan of taking Salah out? You know, I mean, it's going to have immediate, there's going to be an immediate effect, isn't there, this week? Because, you know, if Haaland blanks against Brighton and Fernandes goes off against Leicester, but I've already cost myself like 15, 20 points by captaining the wrong player. On the other hand, if Haaland goes off and Fernandes does nothing, then I'm immediately well ahead. And everybody who hasn't got Haaland is suddenly piling into him for that Leicester match, aren't they? And he goes off against Leicester, and Salah doesn't do much against Everton, then again, I'm flying up the ranks, absolutely flying up the ranks. And suddenly Salah becomes an issue. Everyone tries to get rid of him. I guess they all get rid of him on their game week 31 wildcard, don't they? I mean, that's the thing. I could get rid of Salah now. I mean, I could keep Salah now and get rid of him in game week 31 when the Everton match is finished, and that's the main danger. I've already worked out that that's the main danger to my rank, is the Everton match. So I could still play my assistant manager chip at the end of the season keep Salah for the next couple of weeks and then take him out on a game week 31 wild card. That's another possibility. You can see how tricky it is, can't you, peeps? Anyway, I'm here to tell you that I think things have changed slightly and I'm having a bit of a wobble. The Salah's probably become a bit more attractive than he was in the short term if Trent's not out long term. But I still think that Salah is not good long term. I don't see keeping him for the entire season as being good at all. I think it's going to be 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, where they wrap up that title. Once they wrap that title up, I think Salah is going to be a lot less value than he is now. And I just have to decide whether I'm going to get rid of him now or wait a few more weeks. And I'm here to say that although I said I was 100% getting rid of Salah, it's now dropped down to about 90%. So if I do change my mind, don't beat me up, because I probably deserve it. I deserve a slap, but please be kind, please. Be kind, as Jacinda used to say over here, until we kicked her out as well. So that's it, peeps. I'm off now. I've had enough. It's been a very wobbly sort of day all round, and we shall see what's going to happen. But so tricky, so tricky. I could just honestly, I could just take out and die forever Nielsen, go and have a lie down and not worry about it. Do you know what I mean? And keep all options open for another day. Anyway, I'm off now. Let's have a quick look. Quick look, peeps. Where are we? Reddit. We'll have a quick look at Reddit. Very quick. We'll order it by hot. See what's hot and what's not. Reddit. We might get the price changes up. Now, what's happening? We don't know about Trent, do we? We just don't know. Honestly, if he was out for 5 or 6 weeks, I think Salah. This is why Salah's not going to get 400 points this season, because they're going to win the league too early. And his teammates are going to be on the beach. Price changes. Here we go. Is this today's? Looks like it. So, what's happened, peeps? What's happened? Sells has gone up. Dango's gone down. If you own Dango, well, Palmer's gone down. But as you've already seen, I am not getting rid of Palmer until probably my wild card in game week 35. And I'm hoping we get the old Palmer back, just like I'm hoping we get the old Haaland back. There have been signs of the old Haaland coming back, not so many signs of the old Palmer coming back, unfortunately. So there, the price changes just happened. Not really interested in João Pedro. I would prefer Evan Nielsen over him. Let's have a look here. Here we go. Clean sheet odds. Arsenal, Everton, Man United, Forest, Wolves, Bournemouth. Who have I got? See, I've got, I'm going to have to play Colwell probably this week. Southampton only 21%. Howard Bellis has had a few attacking returns, I think. I know he's not great, but it's not the worst fixture for me to have to play Howard Bellis in. You never know. You never know, peeps. City only 29% for a clean sheet. Fulham only 27%. So my defence isn't looking fantastic this week, is it? I've got Gabriel. And that's about it, really. People with Mikalenko, I'd be hoping for a clean sheet. Now here's the worst active team. And 33 points. I think that's about what As got, isn't it? But he's not in the top 10k, so his one won't count. But this just shows how easily you can get bashed up. Because look, Pickford, Trent, Huijsen, Saliba, Salah, Palmer, Wood, Bremo, Bowen, Beto, Wood, Isaac. Completely template team. And he's only got 33 points. Can't blame bad play. Can't blame his players. Okay, Captain Palmer. But, you know, you can't expect everyone else to come in with just 2 points. And that's what they've done. Look, none of the other ones in his team have got more than 2 points. And this, in a way, is another reason I'm a bit jittery about getting rid of Trent, getting rid of Salah. Because so many weeks, everyone else is doing nothing. And Salah just keeps going, doesn't he? And when you put up someone against Salah, you know, like people who Captain Palmer, or whoever you put up, or Isaac, or whatever, Salah always seems to win the captaincy battle, doesn't he? So when I go Haaland, I'm immediately coming up against Salah. And Salah seems to win all these captaincy battles. But the thing is, peeps, you know, past is no guarantee of future returns, is it? So, I mean, it's not going to continue forever, that sequence. You know, someone's going to batter Salah in the captaincy stakes at some stage. It's just a question of when. Top 10 transfers in and out. Fernandez, very annoyingly, because I've had him for weeks. Months, actually, months. So now everyone's getting it, but he's still only 13% owned, which is very low, isn't it? I don't have Chris Wood. I should probably be more worried about him, shouldn't I? Evan Nielsen's only 1.8% owned. You know, should I just get Chris Wood and be hyper boring this week? It's so tricky. I don't really want Chris Wood though. Long term, I don't want him. Clivert, Haaland, Ait Nori, Evan Nielsen, Anya, Gibbs White, Hall, Isaac, Palmer, Cunha, Salah, Rodgers going. Salah still absolutely massive ownership, nearly 70%. Trent's going, they're going to pick up, I think, but because he's injured, even though it's not going to probably affect his Everton match. But there are people selling Salah. I'm probably going to be one of them, I think. But that Champions League, honestly, not getting looked at the Champions League has got me a little bit worried, more worried than I was about that Everton match. Because they're going to want redemption, aren't they? They're going to want redemption. I mean, PSG were a better team, I think, for the most part. You know, I mean, Liverpool were pretty unlucky not to score. I mean, PSG rode their luck. But you could say the same about Liverpool in the first leg, couldn't you? So over the 2 legs, you have to say that PSG, they were a better team. You know, I think Trent coming off certainly didn't help. Certainly didn't help. What's this, peeps? Overall #1 spot. Charlie's team. Charlie's #1, apparently. Got a lot more points than I have, that's for sure. 2,117. Can't remember what I've got. And that's about it. So, you know, not sure, peeps, not sure. Look at that for Green Arrow last week. That's how many points I've got. Where am I? Can't even find them. 1877. So about 200 points behind the person in the lead, I think, which is about right, isn't it? Long way behind. But a slight green arrow, the slightest of slight green arrows. I think 60 points would have been a red arrow. But it's all in the past, peeps, all in the past. And looking forward, it's a nightmare. Absolute nightmare. Anyway, I'm off now, and I basically, like I said, came on to say But there is now a slight chance I do not go through with this Salah plan, based on the fact that Liverpool will now be even more concentrating on the league than they were before. And I'm going to have a look, I think, at options that involve keeping Salah until after game week 30 and possibly taking him out on a wild card in game week 31, which looks a more logical time to do it, apart from the fact that Haaland does have Leicester in game week 30. But like I said, I'm a bit concerned about the timing of that match. That is the one thing that's worrying me. And if I don't do it yet and I just get Evan Nielsen or someone, at least then I get to see just how bruising an affair that Bournemouth match turns out to be. You know, I mean, it could be that City win 3-0 and take Haaland off after 70 minutes or something like that. We just don't know, do we? We've got no idea how bruising that encounter is going to be and how likely it's going to be to affect Haaland's minutes. You know, like I said, it could be a fact that Haaland could get injured during that game. So making the transfer now is a bit like making a transfer before Champions League matches. It's a bit risky, you know, especially when the focus is for that game against Leicester. The main reason to bring him in early is for that game. So it is taking a bit of a risk. Anything happens to him and I'm pretty stuffed. I mean, admittedly, I can captain my moosh and just hope for the best. But because I think if Haaland didn't play, my moosh certainly would, wouldn't he? So anyway, picks him off now. I'm rambling, but I've got a lot of thinking to do. And the problem is, the more I think, the worse I tend to get. So you normally, as we know from these videos, the original plan turns out to be the best, doesn't it? And when I change plans, all that happens is I end up kicking myself. You know, I don't bother getting Haaland. He gets a hat-trick against Brighton, goes mental against Leicester, and I beat myself up for the rest of the season for not getting Haaland in. So we shall see, peeps. Anyway, I'm off now, so take care, like and subscribe, and I may well be back at some stage in the next few days. We'll have to wait and see. But in the meantime, good luck with your own team, peeps. Don't do what I'm doing just because I'm doing it. Do your own thing, because you probably know your own team a lot better than I do. You know, everyone's team's different. My team, I can't get Haaland in without getting rid of Salah. You might well be able to. But like I said, everyone's team's different. So what might be right for me isn't necessarily right for you. So I'll talk to you all later, peeps. Cheers for now.